Welcome back. My guests are seated. We're waiting for one more person, but then we can continue. There are two people in the studio. This morning I've been joined by GHOne. He's a member of the Convention People's Party, a leading member for that matter. We call him Mr. President. And Amidu Chinia, he's a Deputy Minister Sanitation and Water Resources. We're waiting for Delali Seokbo. He's a member of the NDC Communications team. Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Good morning.
Mr. Janto, how are you?
A bit under the weather, but I'm surviving. Could be better.
Could be better.
Yes.
What have you been up to? How did you celebrate yesterday?
Yesterday, a good friend of mine has passed. Madame Doreen Gizzo.
Oh, she lives just behind my...
She lives in your area.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. I saw the place draped with...
Yes.
And I was wondering what was happening there.
Yes, my Gizzo's wife.
Yes.
So we're having the 1 week on Thursday, 9 o'clock.
Oh.
So I was there most of the day.
Oh, my condolences
But I
to the
also
family.
was on TV, GTV yesterday. When duty calls, whether you're sick or you're not sick, you
for
have
God
to
and
go.
country,
For God and
Mr.
country.
President.
I'm not a president. I'm not, please.
Anyway, Mr. Chinya, how are you?
I'm good.
Were you in the constituency?
I haven't seen him in a while, eh?
Yeah.
It has been a long time.
Yeah. How's the constituency?
Oh, it's good.
Were you there yesterday?
No, this weekend I didn't go to the constituency. I returned, I think that was on Tuesday, last week Tuesday.
Okay.
So over the weekend, then unfortunately around Wednesday I lost my younger sister here in Accra.
Oh,
And then
condolences.
we buried her here and the funeral was taken home. And I had to stay back to do a few things.
My condolences
Thank
to your
you.
family.
How young is young?
I'm older than her. So you can imagine, I'm in my 40s.
In the number of siblings you have, where does she stand? Third, fourth, fifth, second?
I mean, I'm about 7 years older than her. Yeah.
Is she in her 30s?
No, 40s.
Okay.
She's yes.
Early
I think
40s.
Early 40s.
Oh, that's sad.
That's sad.
That's quite young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sad.
So my condolences to your
Thank
family.
you. And then I just want to put this one on record. I think last week Thursday I wasn't here.
Yes.
I wasn't here, but there was a flyer that indicated that I was supposed to be here.
No. So the flyer was not from us.
So I want to put that on record.
That you were not billed. Yeah, I mentioned that.
I was not billed to be here.
Yeah.
And so I couldn't be running from anybody. It is
Absolutely.
absolutely false. And the flyer that was put out there, I mean, came from somewhere I don't know. But GHOne never invited me
Yes.
to be part of your program on Thursday. And so all the lies and the misinformation out there, I wanted to be on record that, I mean, I wasn't invited for the program. And so I couldn't have been here.
That I mentioned.
How
last
can that
Thursday.
be possible?
Yeah.
And the unfortunate thing
You
I also
know
realized
that-
was
you know that people sometimes-
GHOne itself didn't put out the flyer of those you had invited on that day.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, we did. I actually posted it.
It was on your page.
Okay.
It was on your page.
Okay.
Rather, the concocted one was the one that was flying everywhere. And that is not fair. I mean, if I am invited for a program and I cannot come and you say so, I don't have a problem. But for people to create a story and try to create the impression that I was invited but I was running away from appearing on the show was not a fair thing to do.
So henceforth, you know that anytime a flyer is not coming from us, you will not see it on our pages. Any flyer you see the main page post or from any of us on our various social media pages, then you know that is the original flyer coming from us. But last Thursday, the Chinya was not billed to appear on the show. I stated it emphatically here that he was not billed to be on the show last Thursday. So that's settled. Let's talk about issues of national interest, especially as yesterday was August 4 and it's reignited the debate about Founders' Day, the apostrophe, where the apostrophe should lie. And the big question is this debate necessary? What does it mean for young people? As a young girl way back in GSS, I read history in a particular perspective. Now, for probably my child who will read history now, is a different story. What does this mean for us as Ghanaians? Do we even need this particular rewriting of history at this material moment of our lives as Ghanaians? Mr. Jantua, let me start with you.
Good morning. Good morning to our viewers. The MPP has been in power in this Fourth Republic. President Kufuor has been in power. And then who else, apart from President Kufuor?
It's just President Kufuor and another.
Did it ever come up?
No. Under President Kufuor,
yes,
no.
Did something like that come up?
No.
How old is President Kufuor? He's in his 80s, isn't he?
Yeah.
So he knows, he was there when all this was going on. And he, being a president of Ghana two times, knows the history. Why didn't he say anything about it? And President Kufuor is a diehard UP person, although he has sympathies, especially for the CPP. And that is shown in his governance when he came in. Why? Why has this question only come up since 2017 when President Akufo-Addo became president? Why? Why has it even come up now? Why is President Akufo-Addo trying to take the shine of his vice? Baumia, we are in an election year. That is what is important. Why does he want to take the shine? Why does he want to? And by the way, what President Akufo-Addo is saying is not in history books. The way he is saying what he's saying
narrating
is not in history books as yet. And I just don't understand why. Perhaps he has so much time on his hands between now and the next 4 months.
But I mean, is that not? It's not in history books because they were not acknowledged. But he says, even though Nkrumah is a charismatic, visionary leader, he's a major actor, there are other unsung heroes.
He's making problems, he's giving problems to his own self. Why does he want to foist it down our throats? When if you walk the streets of Ghana today, interview Ghanaians and ask Ghanaians, what will they say? They won't share his thoughts. He says we should be citizens and not spectators. We are being citizens here. And we are saying you are wrong. Stop it. Look, UGCC, what were they looking for? They were looking for a federal state, weren't they? And let's be very specific. We're talking about modern Ghana. We're not talking about Ghana in the 1827s when he talks about Aborigines movement and all that. We're talking about modern Ghana. At the time, the UGCC was formed, Ghana was not a unitary state, was it?
No. No.
The time UGCC was formed, Ghana was not a unitary state. At the time the CPP was formed, Ghana wasn't a unitary state. Yeah. But for us to get independence, Nkrumah felt we should come together as one. They in the UGCC wanted a federal type of system. And if that federal type of system existed, we wouldn't have this kind of state called Ghana, would we? No. Let me go through the history. The Gold Coast, which is now modern-day Ghana, was a British colony. And it consisted of several territories and entities. At the time of Ghana's independence, 1957, the Gold Coast was made up of one, the colony. Which was the colony? The coastal areas, including the cities of Accra, Cape Coast, and Sekondi, which were under direct British rule. 2, Ashanti, a kingdom that was conquered by the British in 1902 and became a protectorate, Ashanti was a powerful and wealthy kingdom known for its gold and cocoa production. Two separate entities. 3, the Northern Territories, a vast area of savanna and forest inhabited by various ethnic groups, which was also a British protectorate. And then the Trust Territory, which is Trust Territory of Togoland, a mandate territory from the League of Nations administered by Britain, which was merged with the Gold Coast in 1956. At the time, the Gold Coast had different kingdoms. It had the Ashanti Kingdom, it had the Dabong Kingdom, it had the Gonja Kingdom, it had the Mamprusi Kingdom, had the Fanti Confederacy. They were all separate. Yeah. And so what happened? The territories were brought together to form the modern nation state of Ghana, which Kwame Nkrumah, as its first president and as its first prime minister and president. What happened? There was a plebiscite, wasn't there? Especially to bring the Togo sides together.
Yeah.
They were given the chance to vote whether they wanted to stay in Ghana or whether they wanted their own.
Yeah.
And the vote was 58% for Gold Coast, 42% voted to remain separate. They became part of Ghana. And the day of independence, remember, we were told that it was J.B. Dankwa who proposed the name Ghana. Let me tell you. The name Ghana comes from the ancient Ghana Empire, which existed from the 4th to the 13th century in West Africa. The empire was located in what is now Mali, Senegal, and Mauritania, and was known for the wealth, power, and trade works. The name Ghana is derived from the title of empire's ruler, the Ghana, which means warrior king or king of kings in Soninke language. When Kwame Nkrumah and other independence leaders sought a name for their new nation, they drew inspiration from this ancient empire. They wanted a name that reflected the country's rich history, culture, heritage, and aspirations of greatness. In 1957, the name Ghana was officially adopted, and the newly independent nation symbolized a connection to the glorious past and commitment to building a bright future. And that is where Nkrumah, on the day of independence, he stood on the podium and declared this country, Gold Coast, would now be called Ghana. Did they oppose it?
No.
Did the UGCC and all the others oppose it? Yes, they opposed it.
They did?
Yes, they sent an envoy to the Queen.
Yes, that we're not ready.
Led by J.B. Dankwa, K. Busia, to tell them we are not ready. Ghana is not ready for independence. And if Ghana is not ready for independence, don't grant it. But the Queen denied them and said Ghana was ready for independence. So they gave us an. If really and truly they believe that they were fighting for Ghana's independence, when Nkrumah then went into the CPP, why didn't they join? Why didn't they bring the UGCC? Okay, if that is what you've done, okay, let's all come together and fight for this. Did they? No. They formed the NLM, didn't they? The National Liberation Movement. Didn't they form it? And what were they doing? They were fighting the Ashantis in Kumasi. When my father tells you the history of what happened in Kumasi at that time, Professor Akosa's father had to run away to go to live in Mampong. My father himself had to run away from Ashanti because of the kind of terrorism that was going on there. So what are they talking about? What is President Kufuor talking about? You see, the mistake he's making is that it's bringing out the negatives of his family's involvement in independence. They are positives. They are positives. When Nelson Mandela was fighting for apartheid,
yeah.
The current president, what's his name? Ramaphosa, is that his name?
Sir Ramaphosa.
Did he not fight some? But when the accolade came, who was it pointed at? Winston Churchill.
Oliver Tambo as
Winston Churchill, when he was fighting Hitler, did he do it on his own? When the accolade came, who did it go to? They are warriors, yes. They are struggling. People struggle. He talks about the Aborigines' right. They were fighting for certain things that they wanted Ghana to be. In the end, who gained the independence? It's Nkrumah who knitted everything together. Others were opposing. So he should stop that. If he has so much time on his hands, we expect him to work. In the last 4 months, he should work. Today, where's our dollar? Today, and what do you call it? Has he been able to make Ghana the kind of Ghana that people are satisfied? Are young people not leaving this country in their droves? Are nurses not leaving this country in their droves? Are professionals not leaving this country? That is what he should concentrate on. He should stop doing this. Because you cannot, and I dare him. He should put a committee together to look into this. A committee of politicians, a committee of historians, a committee, even bring the British in because they have archives. And let's go deep into it and let's see who is founder, who is not founder. So let's stop it. How can you? Do you know the Ghana's contribution to the formation of the OAU, which is now AU? Ghana actually invested in it. What has he done to that day? Do we celebrate it? When the whole of Africa is celebrating AU Day, do we celebrate it? No. Republic Day, which is significant in our history, what has he done? He has moved it and he's given us 4th August, which is the day that the UGCC was formed. I mean, what's this? He cannot change history. History is history. And I beg you, Uncle William, stop it. It doesn't help anybody. There are much more pressing issues in this country we need to deal with. Food inflation is still high. People are still suffering. People don't have places to stay. Look, for anything at all, let's say we won't talk about anything, just street lighting. Roads at night, and people dying, no markings on the roads, no street lights on the roads. Does that not concern him? Especially for things Ghanaians pay for, and it's not being done. Come on. Uncle William, please find something much, much better to spend your time on. You have 4 months to go. And let us be able to say, you two, when you were there, you did X, Y, Z, and stop this kind of argument. It won't wash. Ghanaians won't accept it. When my dear nephew talked about Nkrumah, what happened? What was the backlash? What was the backlash? And Nkrumah is one man who is celebrated in the whole world. Huh? He was made the Millennium Gentleman of the Century, wasn't he? Yes. You think they didn't see something in him?
Anywhere you go to, you tell them you're from Ghana, they say, oh,
yes,
Nkrumah's Ghana.
Exactly. So what is President Akufo-Addo trying to do? What is he trying to achieve? You tell us. What is he trying to achieve? I would have thought, if for nothing at all, if you really want to celebrate those who were in the struggle, then have some kind of a hero's park for them, where you have all their busts there. President Akufo-Addo said that President Nkrumah rode on the back of some of these people to do what he was doing. Let me ask you, if I tell President Akufo-Addo that he also rode on the back of President Mahama to do what he's doing today, will he accept it? Will he accept it? He won't accept it. So please, this diversion is not necessary. Don't change the course of history. We know who Kwame Nkrumah was. The world knows who Kwame Nkrumah was. Everybody acknowledges his contribution to Africa, especially the way he pushed Africa and other countries' independence, the way he was so patriotic in making sure that Africa became a united Africa. Are we not suffering it today? Yeah. Are we not? Africa, being separate countries, are we not suffering it today? What have we tried to do? President Akufo-Addo's government, have they not brought in AFCTFA, where we have a unitary form of trade? Yeah. Wasn't Nkrumah talking about it then? Was his people talking about it then? So he should stop this kind of thing. It won't wash, so stop it. Yesterday, I heard him trying to defend it again. Defend what? There's nothing to defend. Jaimaninka. It won't happen. No matter how much you try to work it
One
and
of the
change
things
it.
he said was August 4 needs to be preserved.
Preserve for what? Why should it be preserved? Because the UGCC was born on that day. Preserve for what? What is the preservation for? If anything needs to be preserved, it's July 1st, not August 4th. July 1st, not August 4th. Do we celebrate 1966? Do we celebrate the coup? We don't celebrate anything. So he should stop that. It won't wash. You can't go against the majority of Ghanaians who put you there. And if it is something you believe in, then set a committee up. I dare him. Set a committee up. Say to you, I'm the president. I'm everybody's president. I am not in line with this thinking. But let's make sure that my line of thinking is right. Let's set a committee up to go into it to see whether what I'm saying is true or false. Yeah, there were other people who struck. There are quite a lot of people who struck. The person who invented Microsoft, what's his name? Bill Gates.
Bill Gates, yeah.
You think Bill Gates sat there on his own and did it? Facebook, you think the man sat there on his own and did it? There were others who helped. But when they're celebrating, they celebrate the person.
The figurehead.
The figurehead. So what's the problem?
Anyway, Chine.
Once again, let me say good morning to you, to my colleague panelists, and to
Just before you continue, let me acknowledge the presence of Delali Sewokbo. He's a member of the NDC communications team. You're welcome, Delali. Okay. Mr. Chine,
So let me also say good morning to my constituents, the people of Sasala East, and everybody listening to us this morning. I think this is a very, very important subject matter that, I mean, as a country, we need to seriously reflect on it and at least build consensus around it. Because the person, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, in our history means a lot to every Ghanaian, even if you have disagreed with him and the way he operated. But his relevance, his importance can never be taken away from our history. And even as Mr. Janto said, in Africa, I mean, he's an icon. He's a man who declared independence for Ghana. He's the first president of Ghana. I mean, so his relevance, his importance can never and never and never be taken away. But I think that there are a few issues that we need to settle as a country, which, of course, in my opinion, we should not politicize. We have to sit around the table and have serious agreements on these issues of founder and founders and all that. And if you look at the Founders Day, it was first instituted by Nkrumah himself in the 60s, where he was celebrated, his birthday was celebrated as the Founders Day. And then along the line, after his overthrow and his death, it didn't happen again until former President Atta Mills, through an executive instrument, instituted his birthday, 21st September, as Founders Day. And when President Akufo-Addo became president, because I heard Mr. Janto talking about Kufuor and all, I think all those times under Rawlings and Akufo, we didn't have a Founders Day. It never existed. It only existed in the 60s. And it was President Mills, of blessed memory, who reintroduced the Founders Day, recognizing the importance and the contribution of Dr. Nkrumah as the first president of Ghana. And I feel that the steps President Akufo-Addo has taken, to the extent of moving it from an executive instrument to parliament and getting it approved by parliament and instituting Nkrumah's birthday as a special day that he celebrated, a memorial day. He celebrated as Ghana's first president. I mean, in Ghana, there is no individual that is celebrated apart from Nkrumah. So it tells you that President Akufo-Addo is not running away from the relevance and the contribution of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Otherwise, he would have made effort to even take him out of the equation completely. But he recognizes him as the first president, the man who led Ghana to independence, and his contribution to our industrial revolution and the construction of very important state assets, which are even relevant up to today. I mean, can never be taken away. And so, as a country, we continue to celebrate him on 21st September, his birthday, as a special day that, I mean, to let Ghanaians know how important he is. But you see, we also need to look at the fact that the struggle for independence, I mean, started from somewhere. And to the extent that other people made contributions, you can also run away from the fact that, I mean, trying to eulogize and broaden the scope of those who led the struggle for Ghana to get its independence is not also relevant. For instance, the United States of America, George Washington Bush was the one who declared independence for America. He's celebrated, but they have, founding fathers of America, which include others and George Washington, even though he was the one who declared independence. I mean, they celebrate him as an individual, but they have added others who were part of the struggle, and they have founding fathers of America, United States of America. I mean, he mentioned Nelson Mandela. I mean, we have all read and heard the struggle he went through. South Africans and Africa as a whole celebrates Nelson Mandela. But like he equally added, there are others who played various roles in supporting Nelson Mandela to achieve what he achieved in South Africa. So for me, we need to build a consensus around these matters. Nobody is taking away the role played by Dr. Nkrumah, which is exceptional. Once he was the first president, he was the one who led us to independence. Whatever contribution others have made, his contribution supersedes all others. But that does not also take away the fact that adding others to have a Founders Day is out of place. As long as Nkrumah is celebrated separately as a very important personality, which no other Ghanaian is celebrated. I don't think that Nkrumah has been debased or has been reduced. I don't think so. And so, but it is important, I agree with him, that we need consensus on these matters. We don't need to have differences in terms of our recognition for people who have contributed to Ghana's development. We don't need controversies on it. And so probably we should take a second look at it and see how we can do an engagement and have a finality to these matters so that, I mean, everybody can buy in, accepting the fact that Nkrumah stands out, is celebrated every 21st September as the founding president of Ghana, but then those who contributed to the, getting Ghana independent goes beyond Nkrumah. Of course, we all know the history tells us that people started and then they brought him in. Of course, he took a radical stand, and whilst others wanted a gradual means to independence, he wanted independence immediately. And his stance, I mean, succeeded. And so you can't say that the fact that he joined the fight at a later date that takes away his extraordinary contribution. His contribution for me is much bigger. And we just don't need to celebrate him as Ghanaians. The whole of Africa need to celebrate him. I've done a bit of try to learn history, and the point he made, the whole of Africa, and Nkrumah's contribution to the current AU that we have is far more than any other country. And for that matter, when you say Nkrumah's contribution, you can, by that extension, say Ghana's contribution. Ghana contributed more than any other African country, led by Dr. Nkrumah in establishing the OAU, which is now AU. So his contribution and his effort goes beyond Ghana, and we cannot and must not make any effort in taking that away from him. And for me, even the current arrangement, I don't know, Mr. Gent will disagree, but the current arrangement does not take away the importance and the recognition of Dr. Nkrumah by we celebrating his birthday as a memorial day, which generation after generation will continue to see, because there is no other Ghanaian that is celebrated that way. That makes him an exceptional person. And so I think that it is good enough, but we still need to get to the drawing board, because on matters like this, you need national consensus.
Just to add, before Nkrumah came in, Nkrumah wasn't sitting abroad twiddling his toes and twiddling his thumbs.
I agree.
He was fighting for African independence with freedom fighters like Du Bois and all those people in Europe and America.
That is true.
He was fighting for it. So they identified him and said, this man will be a good person for us. And let me tell you why Nkrumah left the UGCC. When Nkrumah came, he went into town. He was general secretary. He had to siphon and see whether the people understood what the struggle was all about. And realized the people weren't connecting to what the UGCC had done up to that point. And came back and told the UGCC big shots, Dankwa and all those people, that, look, we need the youth to be part and parcel of this struggle. CYOs were set up. Let's use them as our what? Our youth wing to fight this particular, what do you call it? Dankwa and Co said no. He told them, we need independence immediate. They said no, the shortest possible time. It was the CYOs who said, if these people are not ready for independence now, then leave and form your own. They pushed him to form his own. And he formed his own. Let me tell you something. This is where the Jantos are very instrumental in this particular issue. Nkrumah took a pen, took paper, on my father's back, wrote a letter and said, go to Ashanti. Go and tell, because my father is from Menchia, go and tell Prempeh II that the new party I'm going to form, this was in Southpond, the new party I'm going to form, I'm bringing it to Ashanti. So my father, Kwame J, KSP, and there was a fourth person, went to Menchia and gave the letter to Prempeh II. Prempeh II, according to my father, said, I have nothing wrong in Nkrumah bringing his new party, the CPP, to Ashanti. However, he should know when he comes, he will meet his enemies here. What happened? NLM, led by Bafa Koto and JB Dankwa. What happened? What happened? So, if my brother Chini is saying we should sit down and talk about, history has already placed Nkrumah as the founder of this country. What is there to talk about? If that is the case, why don't we, and I would give concession to that, why don't we celebrate everybody on that 21st December day? Why? Why don't we? Why should there be a special day for others apart from Nkrumah? Why?
That's Nkrumah's birthday.
Yes. So let's celebrate all of them. If those who were in the struggle, that the so-called help...
Is that not why there's Founders Day?
Yeah, but I'm saying that do it one day. Why should there be a separate day? Why should it be 4th August? What's the significance of 4th August in our history? Is it because UGCC was formed on that day? Is that the reason why? Which president in this 4th Republic has even talked about 4th August from that tradition? Which of them? President Kufuor, did he talk about it? No. Nothing. It is President Kufuor who is doing it. And so it makes it look as if he's trying to please family members. He should move away from it. If you want to celebrate others who are part and parcel of it, let's do everything on the 21st of September, that day that we have all recognized as the day Kwame Nkrumah brought Ghana's independence. Even if you say the others were contributed, okay, let's do it all on that day, not 2 separate days. Not 2 separate days.
Okay.
But Mr. Gentwa, I mean, doing it on Nkrumah's birthday will not be right.
Why?
I mean, the point I am making is that Nkrumah he celebrated. Nobody's taking that one away. As you talk about this republic, how many of these presidents have even celebrated his birthday as a memorial day? Apart from former President Mills. It started from him. Under Rawlings, we never saw that. Under Kufuor, we never saw that. And President Kufuor hasn't taken that recognition away from where...
They didn't seek to change anything.
But they didn't also start anything. So there was nothing. It is President Mills who started it through an executive instrument. President Kufuor came, there have been modifications, I agree, but he has not taken that away from him. That recognition has not been taken away from Nkrumah.
What is that day called?
He is celebrated.
What is that day called?
Memorial Day.
Memorial Day. What does that signify?
sacrifice him as the first president. Very important.
The memory of the man.
Yes.
Nothing more, nothing less.
Oh, but
we are talking about the things he did. That's what we're
is
talking
about. Is there any other Ghanaian who is celebrated on a special day?
Because you've watered it down.
Let's hear from Delali as well. Delali, good morning to you once again.
Hi, good morning, and good morning to your cherished viewers, and good morning to lawyer and honorable. First of all, these arguments about Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, there's been a deliberate attempt to arbitrate the legacy of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. And consistently, when we continue to mind the NPP and its group of people relative to Dr. Kwame Nkrumah about the fact that the legacy of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah is not something that you can arbitrate. Because the legacy of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah is what I call visible and verifiable. I can sit down here and make reference to University of Science and Technology as one of the achievements of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. I can make reference to the Kumasi Teaching Hospital as one of the achievements of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. The Temamutu Way, one of the notable achievements of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, Kusumuda. So there are plethora of evidence that suggests that the achievement and the record of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, it's impeccable. It's not something you can contest. So this posture, this consistent attack on the legacy of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, it will not wash. I mean, I believe that this attempt is basically meant to satisfy a certain individual or a certain quote-unquote cabal to more or less project J.B. Dankwa as one of the doyens of Ghana politics, as one of the individuals that has really fought hard when it comes to Ghana independence. But the records speak otherwise. I have a letter authored by Dr. J.B. Dankwa, 10th of October 1951, addressed to G.H. Obdam Esquire. Yes. This is a letter written by Dr. J.B. Dankwa. Yeah. I mean, obviously, this for me is somebody who have demonstrated that per the content of this letter, he's anti-Ghanaian. He's somebody who fought against our independence. And if, with your kind permission, I'll read it to the hearing of your viewers. He said, "Dear Mr. Obdam."
Please give the title of the letter.
The title of the Dankwa writes Nkrumah and his tricks. That is the title of the letter. "I exceedingly regret delay in replying to your two letters. That man, Kwame," that's how you describe Dr. Kwame. "That man, Kwame Nkrumah, who is now leader of government business, has started his tricks again. This time, he, who is the government, is inviting all political leaders and chiefs to join him to send an ultimatum to His Majesty, government of the United Kingdom, for self-governance now. And if rejected, to declare positive action, strike, and boycott, etc. There has been hectic activity all over the place. And on Sunday, we of the UGCC, I mean, these are the people we are being told that the UGCC has played a very pivotal role when it comes to independence. He's referencing the UGCC in this letter. Met at a great meeting and turned down his challenge. His challenge flat as being an invitation to criminal conspiracy against law and order. I had to be away in Kumasi for a long period last month, and I am just now clearing up a pile of work." This was a letter authored by J.B. Dankwa. So obviously, per the content of this letter, nobody can convince any Ghanaian that J.B. Dankwa and a group of UGCC members play an important role when it comes to independence. Because per the content of this letter, they stood against Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Because you didn't want Dr. Kwame Nkrumah for self-governance, for independence. And you wrote a letter, right? I mean, describe him as somebody who is engaged in tricks, who is engaged in conspiracy. So if President Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, in his desperation to arbitrate, in his desperation to downplay the impeccable record of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, the evidence show contrary, that indeed Dr. Kwame Nkrumah is a stalwart. That is why within the African continent, right, when you go to some countries, his status has been erected. When you go to some countries within the sub-region, people revere Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. I've never had an instances anybody, even beyond Ghana, even beyond some few group of people within Ghana, coming from a certain cabal, who speak so highly of J.B. Dankwa. I've not even heard anybody speak highly of Dr. J.B. Dankwa. When you go outside Ghana, nobody reference J.B. Dankwa when we are talking about Ghana. Nobody reference J.B. Dankwa when we are talking about Africa. So anytime you see people referencing Africa, Even there are instances when you visit other countries and you want to avert people's mind to Africa. The only icon you can make reference to is Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. So this attempt, consistent attempt, is completely unheard of. So I want to say this. President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, you see, he should be bold enough and tell us what his uncle J.B. Dankwa did. I mean, J.B. Dankwa, when you read some of the report by CIA, at a point in time, he was basically a spy for the CIA, conspiring with the CIA, right, against his own country called Ghana. So such an individual, because of him, you are doing everything possible to undermine the effort of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. I mean, J.B. Dankwa has never won any election in the history of this country. He has never been a leader of any political party. He contested an election and he was beaten by his own cousin, and what they call Aaron Amoakwata. So what is the pedigree of J.B. Dankwa? What is this, attempt to project a man who has no record to show? We want the MPP to know one thing. You have had the opportunity to govern this country. President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, who is more or less a nephew of J.B. Dankwa. You have had the opportunity to govern this country for almost about 8 years. Point where some of the things that you have done, even that can challenge Dr. Osachefo, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Absolutely nothing. But we are talking about a man who is being voted as African Man of the Millennium, a man for the century, a man that beyond the boundaries of Africa, anytime people speak about Africa, the man that they make reference to is the iconic Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. So when you sit down here and all the time you want to downplay his achievement, you want to create an impression to the young people out there that Dr. Kwame Nkrumah did absolutely nothing when it comes to what they call independent. You are lying. I mean, you are completely peddling falsehood.
Okay, so he didn't say Nkrumah did nothing. He says Nkrumah is one of the major actors. However, there are unsung heroes.
Who are these unsung heroes? Is it J.B. Dankwa? The man that wrote a letter? Who didn't want the British, the Queen, to allow Ghana to attain independence? Look at how he described Dr. Kwame Nkrumah in the said letter. Can this be a man who President Nana Addo Dankwa wants us to believe that he played any role relative to Ghana attaining independence? I mean, he has consistently, NPP consistently continue to tout the achievement of J.B. Dankwa. And I'm saying that, see, if for nothing at all, we were not privy, we were not there, but for the record's sake, I know of schools that I can point to and tell you that this school was built by Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. I know hospitals that I can reference and say this hospital was built by Dr. Kwame. I know roads. I don't know of any motorway in this country that can be compared to Tema motorway. The one that you have even failed to repair, the one that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia told us that they're also going to construct what we call concrete road, and now they've not been able to even kickstart, even to talk about completing it. So when we talk about Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's achievements, they are visible, they are verifiable. So he's an iconic figure. He's a man of the millennium. He's a man beyond the continent of Africa. He's been touted as the best man that has ever happened to the African continent. He's a man, anytime he speaks, he's bent on uniting Africa. He's bent on making sure that Africa became an economic, what we call it, hub within the world. He's a man who, anytime he speaks, he was bent on developing the African continent. And this is a man we have to celebrate. See, when it comes to who is the founder of Ghana, it's not something that is subject to a debate. It's not something anybody should come and just hoodwink us and create an impression that there are other people who play a major role when it comes to what we call founding of Ghana. We know one person, and that individual is Osachefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Nobody can contest that, even including MPP members. I know there are some MPP members, they continue to talk about the fact that the president is intent to trace history. But you see, the more you try to undermine Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, the more the man continues to soar higher. Because of what he has done. Because there are things that we can point to. When you talk about J.B. Dankwa, the only thing I can reference J.B. Dankwa is how he was working relentlessly for the CIA, right, against Ghana. When you talk about J.B. Dankwa, I can make a reference to a letter that he wrote when he was basically the one who was sabotaging Ghana when it comes to independence. So there's nothing concrete you can point to, J.B. Dankwa, when it comes to Ghana attaining independence. So I want the NPP to know that Dr. Kwame Nkrumah is not somebody you can compare yourself to. President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo know one thing. In his desperation to compare his uncle J.B. Dankwa to Dr. Sabi Kwame, he make a mockery of himself. He make himself a subject of ridicule. And in fact, he creates an impression that even young people will come to a point and say, listen, the president himself doesn't even appreciate history. Because if the president appreciates history, there's no way the president will compare J.B. Dankwa to Dr. Osachefo Dankwa, because he's an iconic figure and he'll continue to soar higher and higher. when it comes to Ghana's history and when it comes to the group of people who plays a pivotal role in ensuring that Ghana today attained independence in 1950. J.B. Dankwa is certainly not one of them. In fact, if you want to describe J.B. Dankwa, he was an opposition to Ghana attaining independence. And this very letter that he wrote basically captured it as one of the group of people who stood against Ghana attaining independence.
In 1956, just a minute, 1956, when they had the elections, where was Nkrumah? He was in jail, wasn't he? It was when they voted for him that he was brought out of jail. When Nkrumah was in jail, why didn't they vote for J.B. Dankwa? He was out. They pointed fingers when the British came trying to find out who caused the riots in Ghana. They pointed at Nkrumah so that they could be free. And they threw Nkrumah in jail. Did they not take him out of jail because the people have voted for him? And how many times did we vote in 1956? Because the same UGCC were opposing the vote. We voted 3 times because they opposed the vote. Nkrumah said, go ahead, let's vote. 3 times. How can somebody who opposes independence be celebrated? How? I don't understand it. I don't understand. And for me, there is no time where we should sit and say, this is something that we need to discuss, we need to talk about. Kwame Nkrumah is the founder of Ghana. Full stop. And President Akufo-Addo cannot change the history of this country. He cannot. He should not attempt to.
Well, following from what Mr. Gento has said, I think that Mr. Gento, you are very much aware that when there is something to be done, individuals will hold an opinion as to how it should be done, even though they all agree it should be done. But somebody's opinion will be different from another. The issue of independence was a matter that all these people that are subject of discussion today were in support. J.B. Dankwa wanted independence for Ghana. Oh, I'm coming. Let me make my point. All of them were in support. In fact, they started the struggle in Ghana and brought Nkrumah to join. But, Janto, you are also aware that it is clearly written in our history books that while the UGCC said we should fight for independence through a gradual process, the CPP said we wanted independence now. So the question of independence, both parties wanted it. But the means to the independence was the division between the two parties. And the letter you just read is the position of the UGCC of independence through a gradual means.
Remember, they wanted
The letter doesn't suggest too.
They wanted the federal state. They didn't want a unitary state. That was the difference. Nkrumah wanted the unitary state.
I am talking
where
about...
he put everybody together. And as I've read, the different territories he brought together. And the Western Togoland, he formed a plebiscite. They even voted whether they wanted to join Ghana or not. That is where the issue is. Modern Ghana, who created it? It was Nkrumah who brought the territories together to make Ghana, not J.B. Dankwa.
I don't think that you are discussing a different subject
What
matter.
is different about
We
it?
are talking about independence. No. I am just trying to make...
Please allow him.
I am just trying to make the point that the issue of J.B. Dankwa writing a letter to protest is emanating from the position they took that independence should be sought for through a gradual means. That position was clear to everybody in Ghana. That the UGC's position was that we should get independence, but we should do that through a gradual process. But Nkrumah stated that we wanted independence immediately.
Let me clarify.
So those two positions...
Is it not the same thing? Is it not the same thing when President Akufo-Addo said free SHS now, when John Mohammed said...
So that is, I mean, what the two groups stood for. It does not mean that, so for anybody to suggest that Dankwa and Co didn't want independence for Ghana, it's false. It's not true.
Let me clarify.
But
let me clarify. The clarification is that they wanted independence in a gradual process, but on a federal basis. Nkrumah wanted it now on a unitary basis. That was the difference. We didn't want any federal situation. They wanted, J.B. Dankwa and Baffa Koto and all this, wanted a federal system. We didn't want a federal system. Nkrumah said, no, immediate now, unitary. That is where the difference is, and that is the issue about who created Ghana. That's where the issue is.
Well, I am not talking about whether federal or unity.
It's part and parcel of
But the point is, I am talking about the process, the views they held. And I'm saying that the UGCC held the view that independence, probably I wasn't there. If I was there, I would have taken the position either to join those who wanted independence immediately or those who wanted it through a graduate. And it's normal. In every democratic situation, people will take different positions, but they are all looking at the same result. And so if I take the position that independence should be sought for in a gradual process, and somebody says it should be now, it does not mean that I don't want independence. Me, the one saying it should be gradual, does not mean I don't want independence. But the means to getting there is what is different from the other person. Now, to the other point I want to make is that, you see, when NDC people try to create the impression that they love Nkrumah more than anybody, do you remember that when Nkrumah was overthrown and all these things happened, and we came to before the Fourth Republic, it was a champion who resettled Nkrumah's family in Ghana. And then in 1983, the house that was given to the family of Nkrumah was taken away by the PNDC. And they had to leave Ghana. And from that time, when we became, we had the Fourth Republic, no attempt was made until President Kufuor became president. That the house was returned to the Nkrumah's family. So from what PNDC did, let's say it was PNDC that took the house from Nkrumah's family. When the NDC were in government for 8 years, what did they do about it? How did they treat it?
But it's the same NDC that acknowledged the founders too.
But somebody that you cannot even accommodate, somebody you can't accommodate his family, you can't recognize that this is the first president of Ghana and the family must be treated well. I mean, sometimes I just been.
But doesn't it suggest that they sought to rewrite the wrongs?
Well,
they acknowledge the man as a founder.
But you see, the MPP has not run away or tried to not recognize President Nkrumah. I have told you that the Parliament has approved 21st September as a memorial day for former President Nkrumah. The only difference is that we hold the view that
we don't need to celebrate Republic Day? The founders,
view
that we don't need to celebrate
the founders of Ghana goes beyond one person. Just like I mentioned America, George Washington was the one who declared independence for America. He celebrated individually, but there are founding fathers that includes other people and George Washington.
Are they celebrated?
They celebrate. They have founders. They have Founders Day, and the founding fathers, and they are celebrated.
So
the founding fathers of America are celebrated as a group, but George Washington
on a particular day.
Yes, and George Washington.
What day is that?
I don't remember the exact day, but
okay,
they are we have founding fathers. We have founding fathers of America.
The situations
and
are
then
different.
George Washington is celebrated as an individual, and so I don't think that is wrong.
It is the bringing Ghana together.
Let me allow you come in briefly.
You see, for me, I will crave the indulgence of young people watching me this morning that they should get the opportunity and read this book, a book authored by Dr. Kwame Nkrumah called A Dark Days in Ghana. You appreciate the mindset of the MPP. You appreciate what their stock in trade is. You appreciate the fact that whatever that is happening or whatever the president is doing now, you would not be surprised. I mean, these are a group of people who basically bastardize Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, demonize him, create a certain impression that he's a monster. So I am not surprised that, a nephew of J.B. Dankwa, that is President Nana Dankwa, is doing all the things that he's doing. But just to respond to what Honorable said, relative to the fact that Dr. Kwame Nkrumah opted for the radical approach, and the UGCC, J.B. Dankwa, and his other people opted for the gradualist approach, that cannot be true. If you read the content of the letter, describe Dr. Kwame Nkrumah as somebody who is engaged in conspiracy, somebody who is up to some kind of a trick. I mean, this is not charitable words. I mean, there's no way in the content of the letter he made reference to the fact that Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, they are up for the gradualist approach, and Dr. Kwame Nkrumah for the radicalist approach. There was no way. I mean, when you look at the content of the law, if you read it, when you read it within the context, it was written. It means one simple thing, that Dr. J.B. Dankwa was basically not up for it as far as Ghana attaining independence is concerned. What I am just simply saying is this. What Honorable said relative to, making reference to the NDC, I mean, not allowing Dr. Kwame Nkrumah family, whatever. I will call it paralysis of analysis because it doesn't in any way situate within the context of the argument that we are making here. What is more important is this. The NPP must eat a humble pie. The NPP must admit that indeed, when we talk about who is the founder of Ghana, nobody can be compared to Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. As for all the people that you are trying everything possible to rope them in, it's basically done to give certain relevance to Dr. J.B. Dankwa. And I continue to tell you about the fact that in the annals of Ghana history, nowhere is J.B. Dankwa cited having played any significant role when it comes to Ghana independence. Where? What J.B. Dankwa was not, he gained notoriety for writing letters, conspiring with Western, powers, to frustrate Ghana when it comes to attainment of independence. So such an individual cannot, in any way, for any stretch of imagination, be considered as one of the people that plays a very pivotal role when it comes to the country Ghana. In fact, for want of a better word, Dr. J.B. Dankwa, like people would describe him, was more or less like a traitor. So this attempt by President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, in order to create a certain impression that there's a certain man called J.B. Dankwa who contributed when it comes to Ghana attainment of independence. It's neither here nor there. And I want to put it on record, Honorable. Even I believe in your constituency, there are schools that you can lay, that Kwame Nkrumah can be credited to Dr. Kwame, even in your own region. Point to me, in your own region, some of the schools in your own region that you can even reference to what they call J.B. Dankwa, even President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. So the man, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, is somebody, even you, the NPP people, regardless of your political, ideological differences, he's somebody you must celebrate. But for Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, somebody like J.B. Dankwa was basically somebody who pandered to the whims and caprices of imperialists. So there's no way somebody like J.B. Dankwa, you want to compare J.B. Dankwa to Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. He's a man, me and you sitting down here. No wonder Napo, when Dr. Opoku Prempeh, in his maiden speech when he was nominated as a running mate of the NPP, decided to, to make a derogatory statement about Dr. Kwame, forgetting about the fact that he himself, the school he attended, was an achievement of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. He went to KUST, which is also an achievement of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. After a month of that, he went and did his whether housemanship or whatever at Kwame Nkrumah, Confounder Titio. That is the handiwork of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. So that is the level of unconsciousness when it comes to the NPP. The very man that made it possible for you to attend secondary school, the very school you attended was by Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. The very university you attended was Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. The very hospital that you practiced was the achievement of Dr. Kwame. But yet you decided to derogate such an iconic figure in the name of political expediency. He saw the backlash. The NPP, I hope you people appreciate the backlash. The revulsion on the part of Ghanaians relative to the unguided statement made by Dr. Napu Prempeh when it comes to Dr. Kwame. And that should tell the NPP that someone like Dr. Kwame is untouchable. His legacy will continue to linger on. That is why in the whole of Africa, he was voted as African Man of the Millennium. And that's why I continue to talk about the fact that his achievements is so visible, something we can see and something we can verify. Unlike the NPP achievements, sometimes when they put it even on a tracker, you cannot even trace it. Sometimes they themselves will issue a statement and tell you that, oh, this thing doesn't even exist and whatever. We are talking about an iconic man. And respect that man, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. You have done a lot. You have done enough to arbitrate his legacy. And the more you do it, the man continues so high. So his achievement is not something you can downplay. And the letter, I want to put it finally, written by J.B. Dankwa, cannot be a letter that sought to create an impression they are opting for what we call the gradualist approach. It's a letter that is meant to create an impression that they are not ready for independence, unlike Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, who was ready for the independence and fought for it and made sure that Ghana attained independence, March 1957. And let's salute Dr. Kwame Nkrumah for what he has done. And he will continue to remain the Africa iconic figure.
Okay, so we'll move on to our next topic. But I have not seen anywhere that talks about Founders Day in America. I see is
I said they have founders.
Is a day to celebrate Cultural Day by Anglo-Americans.
I said America.
Continentalism.
They have founding fathers. even though it was George Washington who led, them to independence, but they have founding fathers, not a founder.
Okay. All right, so let's move to our next topic. Kennedy Ohene Ejapong has advised the NPP to admit to Ghanaians that indeed we are in economic turmoil. The country is experiencing economic woes, and so there is a need to apologize to Ghanaians if indeed the party wants to break the eight. Chinia, you ended. Let me start with you.
Well, I think his call is in the right direction. I mean, if you're a leader and in your leadership, there are challenges that face your people. You must be, show leadership by admitting the challenges and also showing the steps you are taking to remedy the situation. And I think the president, the vice president, and me on this platform, Mr. Gento, on some occasions that I've always stated that, there are difficulties. There are real difficulties that we must accept as a government and try to find solutions to remedying the situation. Once fuel prices go up, inflation goes up, your currency is depreciating against the major currencies. When you are your net distance is an import-driven economy, because most of the goods that we have in Ghana, we import them. And so if you have to change your local currency into dollars to go and buy, and the local currency keep depreciating, it affects prices of goods, it affects transportation, and it leads to increase in cost of living. And that cannot be taken away. But the fact also remains that globally, every country, I have said here time and again that is there any country in the world where their economic situation has moved from, say, bad to good? Every country is experiencing...
But you see, the thing is, Ghanaians are not experiencing other countries. Ghanaians are experiencing Ghana. Ghanaians are experiencing a Ghana where the president said, Yetisikaso. Ghanaians are experiencing a Ghana where a certain CD was going to be dollar was going to be arrested, and the key handed over to the IGP. That is what Ghanaians are experiencing. Now the dollar has broken jail, and we don't know where the key is. That is what Ghanaians are experiencing. Ghanaians, see, I'm not sure Ghanaians want to think about how America is doing, want to think about how a certain Russia is doing. Ghanaians do not care about it. I am Ghanaian. I think about basic bread and butter.
That is your right to think that way.
Because I am Ghanaian.
It's your right to have those expectations.
Exactly.
But you must also appreciate the fact that Ghana lives within a global community. That can also be taken away. And the circumstances of the global community affects your country too. You can't say that what happens in Ghana happens and is limited to a particular family. Once it happens in Ghana, it cuts across. It affects every Ghanaian. Equally, once there are some challenges that confront the whole world, Ghana cannot be an exception. So the fact that you expect your government, your president, to take steps to make sure that things are good for you, things take shape and make your life comfortable, you must not also lose sight of the fact that we live in a global situation where when there is a global pandemic, your country cannot be an exception. So as much as we admit and we accept that things have been difficult, government is working hard to remedy the situation. And I think that in the past few months, in terms of inflation and other factors, there's some kind of stability. But we still need to do more to arrest the situation. So I have never shied away from the fact that I am an MP. I represent a constituency. I know the challenges that confront the people. I know the difficulties that confront the people. And so I cannot sit here and pretend. I go to the constituency all the time and interact with the constituents. So I understand and appreciate all the difficulties. But I'm saying that you cannot also take Ghana out of the global situation. We cannot be an island on our own, and the consequences of what affects the whole world does not affect Ghana. What we can be talking about is the things that we have done locally that we got wrong. We have to work hard to correct them. But of course, there are other factors that may be beyond our control. But there are others that are within our means that we have gotten wrong. And so locally, if you have done something that is...
But didn't we take cognizance of all these factors when we were campaigning in 2014, in 2015?
But when we're campaigning, did you know there will be what is it, a global pandemic like COVID-19?
But you should have also told Ghanaians that, barring all other circumstances, including...
But when somebody makes a promise to you, you should know that the circumstances can let the person fulfill or not.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So it means that what Dr. Bawumia is telling us, we should not take it hook, line, and sinker. We should take it on the surface. If I'm judging from what you're saying, circumstances can change, and he will not be able to fulfill it.
Is that not the human situation?
So you're saying that whatever
is that not the human situation?
Dr. Bawumia is saying, we should not take it.
I have not said what Dr. Bawumia is saying.
But you're saying that things can change.
Yes,
so.
but is that not the case? If there are promises that, I mean, some of these things we don't need to go into deep politics. Were there no promises Mohammed made in 2012? Many of them unfulfilled. Many of them. He said he was going to build 10 training colleges. Did he build them? He said he was going to pay this assembly staff. What is assembly members? Did he do it? There are several of them. So I saw.
I don't know why Ghanaians.
Yes, I saw. So you look at the net effect of the person's performance. When you go to school and they grade you A, does it mean that you score 100%?
No, not at all.
So the fact that you have not been able to do all the things that you have promised does not mean that you have failed. You have to look at you look at the score mark.
So you have done better. Ganesh, you pat you on the back?
Under the circumstances.
You have done better.
Yes, under the circumstances. I'm sure that if this was under
and you
the
remember
NDC,
Vice President Bawumia said the economy is not about any rhetorics and gymnastics. It is about the pocket.
And he has never run away from it. Has Bawumia not stated that things are difficult? He has stated that. President Akufo-Addo has stated that. So Dr. Bawumia has never run away from his previous statement. He has admitted where things have gone wrong and all that, and the steps the government is taking to remedy them.
Right.
And what he intends to do if he becomes the president.
Okay.
So the reality is that, I mean, the Kennedy Ajapon's point is a valid point. If I have promised you that I'll do something for you, and I'm not able to do it, it will be good for me to come and admit that, yes, I said I'll do this. I have not been able to do it. This is why I've not been able to do it. And then I can now, we can now agree on some a new template. But if I don't admit that things are difficult or I've not been able to do what I said I'll do, then that will amount to insult or feeling that you don't appreciate or you don't understand what is going on.
Right.
So the best for me is to admit where I got it wrong and then start to see how I can remedy the situation.
Okay. Delali.
First of all, just starting from where Honorable ended, relative to the fact that the first thing to admit to do is to admit that things have gone wrong. That is very insincere. His own statement here, when Ghanaians are watching us this morning, will confirm that indeed it's not an admission that they've erred. They've messed up this economy. They have run it aground. They have shown a legendary level of incompetence in managing this economy. If you say you are admitting that you've erred, you've messed up the economy, then you cannot compare how you have run this economy to what was bequeathed to you by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. An exchange rate of 4 cedi 20 pesos, and you still have the temerity and the boldness to tell Ghanaians watching us this morning that now that a dollar is being sold at 16 Ghana cedis, you still want to be bold enough and look Ghanaians in the face. Businessmen who are basically operating in Abusuk and dealing in dollars. You want to watch them this morning and tell them that 16 Ghana cedis an exchange for a dollar is better than 4 cedi 20 pesos. Is that what the Honorable Minister wants to tell those who are watching us this morning? Is the Honorable Minister telling drivers who this morning have visited the fuel pump to buy a gallon of fuel, 69 Ghana cedis? He wants to tell them that it's better than when they were buying it at 16 Ghana cedis under His Excellency John Dramani. Is that what he wants to tell his constituents this morning? He wants to tell people who are currently drivers plying this morning at his constituency that today, clap for Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia and President Nana Danko Akufo-Addo because you are buying a gallon of fuel 69 Ghana cedis is better than when you were buying it 16 Ghana at the present moment. Is that what the Honorable Minister wants to tell those who are watching us this morning? Is the Honorable Minister telling us this morning that, in fact, they have erred, but they have done better than President Mohammed? When in their time, Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud, who became the economic wizard, when the second lady was hopping from one radio station to the other, telling Ghanaians that his husband is an economic messiah, when they told us that a debt portfolio of 120 billion is something that is unprecedented, it's unheard of. Today, as we speak, our debt portfolio has hovered around more than 700 billion. Is that what the Honorable Minister wants to tell us? Is the Honorable Minister want to tell us this morning, those who are currently going to the markets, and in 2016, they were buying what they call a paint gallon of what we call tomatoes, 8 Ghana cedis, and today they are buying it 120 Ghana. Is that what the Honorable Minister wants to tell his constituents? Those who are watching us this morning, that they are better off today buying it 120 Ghana cedis compared to when they were buying it 8 Ghana. Is that what the Honorable Minister wants to tell us? Or the Honorable Minister wants to tell us today that onion, that those who were buying it in 2016 at 15 Ghana and today they are buying it 80 Ghana. Is that what the Honorable Minister wants to tell us? I mean, you have shown an unprecedented mess as far as the running of the economy is concerned. And you see, what Honorable GHOne is talking about, I mean, this is not the first time he's making reference related to how you have run the economy. You remember once that he said that even beside running the economy you have run, beside the level of incompetence that you have demonstrated, he said when it comes to corruption, your maths, he said the rate at which you are looting this country as if there's no tomorrow. He said you people have developed this penchant of siphoning money that belongs to this country as if there's no tomorrow. As if you think that after President Nana Akufo-Addo, there will not be any other generation coming after. Yes. That is what Honorable GHOne said. Businessmen today, their businesses are collapsing. So when we talk about the fact that Honorable GHOne is talking about the fact you have to admit that indeed when it comes to state capture, you have demonstrated an unprecedented level of state capture. The Honorable Minister was here. The last time the Deputy General, the Communication Officer of the NDC, came here with plethora of evidence to suggest that indeed the Honorable Minister sitting here had been engaged in one act of state capture. He could not even defend himself.
Don't say so.
He could not defend himself.
He did.
I am saying that.
I won't allow the deliberate.
I am saying that.
I won't allow the deliberate.
Why? Didn't he show plethora of evidence, documents to suggest? And
What evidence?
See, he even asked you question, and you conceded.
What evidence?
He asked you. He asked you. Is that
You can't stop me from communicating. You can't stop me from communicating. That is your strategy.
What I'm just
saying. You undermine. You frame.
The Deputy National Committee of the NDC was here with plethora of documents. He showed it to you, and asked, is that?
But you know that.
And you conceded. You admitted.
Admitted what?
That you giving contract to your own family members.
What do you mean? Do I give contract?
Did you not admit it?
Do I give contract?
You admitted on live television.
What do you mean?
What do you not admit? Was it on this same set that you admit? Alec was sitting here. You were sitting here. You admitted to the.
Do I give contract?
You admitted.
Do I give contract? Do you understand how the law works?
So you see, when we are
don't come and say things that
when we are talking, I'll give
you a chance for rebuttal. I'll give you a chance.
You can't say that I admitted that I'm giving contract. Do I give contract?
I'll give you a chance for rebuttal.
You see, so we're living in a country. You people can sit down because of the way you are sharing contracts and the way you have resort to state capture. You can decide to say everything is well with you. But you see,
what's your evidence to suggest that they are resorting to state capture?
Can
you name them?
Can I what?
Can you name them?
Name them. When it comes to issues about what they call it, this issue about SNET, the attempted SNET.
The man involved has pulled out.
Was it not an attempted state capture? President Nana Akufo-Addo.
Is he not a businessman?
Businessman who decided to use the position he occupied by virtue of the fact that he's a cabinet minister, previous to sensitive information, who goes to cabinet meeting, decide to buy a national state, state asset like Snake Hotels. The President Nana Akufo-Addo's daughter. An amount of almost about how many $1 million was given to President Nana Akufo-Addo's daughter. $10 million has been paid to the present daughter. What do you call that? Is that not state capture?
Let him prove that.
Is that not
you
state
see,
capture?
the way you moderate, I don't think you are. Why you are critical about the NPP? When they make loose comments to allow them.
I think the NPP
How did the president pay president daughter $10 million?
You have to be tolerant.
I mean, you people are not always fair the way you moderate this show.
You have to be tolerant.
But Delali, you cannot.
You allow
do
NDC
something
reps here
there
to just say things and then.
With the greatest of respect, Mr. Chinia, would you say this on record with evidence? Where's the evidence to suggest
Honorable
that?
Kujata Blakwa have adduced evidence.
From?
Evidence from an impeccable, intercepted evidence. Documents. As we speak, when even they called the Minister for Health, he said he was not in charge and for that matter, he cannot speak to it.
Exactly.
As we speak, any government official has been able
Which
to
document shows the
But
$10 million was paid to president daughter? Show the document.
If the Minister of Health says he's not privy to it, then indeed.
because at that time he was not the minister. What is stopping the then
But they're
minister?
always handing over
What is
notes.
stopping the then minister to come and respond to it? The issue about the ambulance, where you guys are giving an amount of $130,000 when it comes to repairing of an ambulance. When you check the price of the ambulance at the market, it's lesser than the amount of money you are using to buy a spare part. Have you been able to contradict that evidence? And when you are talking about, you say we should adduce evidence. When you people were in opposition, what some of the things you didn't say about President Mahama? The lies you told about President Mahama, and you cannot even take a dose of your own medicine. You think that you can't tolerate it.
So does it mean you're peddling lies?
That's not what I'm saying.
If you say
that
they peddled lies,
that is not what I'm saying. What I'm just saying is this: Honorable Kujato Ablakwa have given evidence, watertight evidence to the effect that the NPP, a contract was given to the president's daughter.
No.
What the president's daughter, a company that the president's daughter has an interest in. Have they been able to refute it? The minister is here.
But if I have a friend who has a company, does that mean I have an interest in the company?
Really?
No, I'm asking.
No,
is that how it works?
No. When you have the president's daughter having some sort of relationship with the person in question, would this person have qualified to win that contract in the first place? What did President Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo do this on the 16th of January?
But why in the law does it bar my friends from having access to contracts if my father is in government? Why in the law does it bar?
Oh, really?
No, I'm asking.
So what happens to conflicts of interest?
That's what I'm asking. Where in the law? Okay, Mr. Jantua is here. He's a lawyer. Where in the law does it bar anybody? So, say my father is the president. Does it bar my friends from getting contracts? Does the law bar anybody?
Is there anything that is admittable that I'm president, so you are my daughter, I give you a contract? It's conflict of interest, isn't it? I'm in position of influence. I'm in position of insider information. And really and truly, even if the law doesn't bar, there's conflict of interest in there. And you as president should know that you are privy to certain information that others would not be privy to, and you cannot use it because of the position you are in to give to those close to you. What did President Akufo-Addo say when he came? He won't do family and friends business. Did he not say it? Is this not family and friends? Did he not say, I'll protect the public purse? Has it been protected? And if you are turning to me, on 19th July this year, I made the same comment. 19th July on TV3, I said, admit to Ghanaians you haven't managed the economy well, and they will forgive you.
Mr. Nelson, let him land then.
So you see,
I wanted the legal clarification.
You see what Mr. Jantua said? He made reference.
You need to get my opinion on the legal clarification too.
I needed a lawyer's perspective to it. That's why I asked.
You see, Mr. Jantua. You see, Mr.
But that does not go legal with the law.
Lawyer Jantua made a reference to the fact that President Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo said he's not going to practice family and friend. Let me give you the specific. On the 16th of January, right there at the Kumasi Sports Stadium, he said President Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, he would never allow any member of his family or friends to win contract or to engage in a family or awarding of contract to his family and friend. We have seen an unprecedented, classical demonstration of family and friend in this particular dispensation. And when Honorable was speaking, he said contract and stuff like that. And you see, I don't want a situation where he assumed that the NDC is into attacking or what have you. We are making a specific reference. When Malik sat here, did he not admit that he's one of the people who is a beneficiary of government state land? Did he not admit to it? I mean, if you engage in this on unconscionable acts, and we are pointing it out to you, it doesn't mean that somebody is attacking you. Because this is not what you promised the good people of this country. This is not what President Nana Danko Akufo-Addo promised the good people of this country. See, I heard President Nana Danko Akufo-Addo in 2012. I hear debate. They asked him a specific question. How do you intend to fight against corruption? You know what he said? He said, I will use the ANAS principle. Today, he doesn't even want to hear about ANAS. He said, you cannot demonstrate this level of unprincipled, inconsistency, dishonesty. You have thrown values to the dogs. And when we point it out to you, he said, we are attacking you. I mean, this is a president who told a sole sourcing amount to corruption. I can give you a plethora of contract that was awarded to a group of people. They are cronies through sole sourcing. And this is how you intend to protect the public purse. So when we are pointing to the ill in the society, when you are awarding contract to your cronies, giving contract to your people, see, as we speak, I thought we were going to discuss about this Ejapadia document as well. When you read the Ejapadia document, you appreciate the level of state capture we have witnessed under this particular dispensation. As we said, every government contract, the person that is being given the opportunity to be the advisor to the government of Ghana is Ken Ofori-Atta. Ken Ofori-Atta. And when we talk about that, they talk about that father, is he not competent? You knew about this, and yet you mount the platform, the political platform, and you were turning out, rhetoric, telling Ghanaians that we are not going to engage in this because you wanted to hoodwink Ghanaians. You wanted Ghanaians to vote for you. And this is how you want us to believe Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia. Going around telling people, I will do this, I will do it. The next time you come and tell us that, what he's saying is just a promise. People have failed when it comes to promises. Let me even go beyond the promises. In Cape Coast, Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia looked the people of Cape Coast in the face. Do you know what he said? He said, the people of Cape Coast, I have a good news for you. We are building Cape Coast. Is that not what he said? He didn't say we'll build. He said we are building it. The same Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud sat on Asempa FM. And they asked him a specific question. What is it that the MPP have done in the northern region that he can lay claim to? He said, from the days of independence to date, if there's one particular project that he is so proud of, it's the Pualugu Dam. And they have built it. That's what Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia said. Where is the dam? You see, at the height of leadership, it's credibility, integrity, and honesty. If somebody is lacking this, he has no business to even aspire to occupy any leadership position in this country. That's why some people will tell that in any civilized society, Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud will not even muster the courage to contest as the flag bearer of the MPP. Don't need to talk about becoming the president of the Republic of Ghana. Because, you see, anytime he gets the opportunity, he speaks as if Ghanaians are primitive. Why is he not talking about the economy? Why is Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia, you're a journalist, when was the last time you heard the vice president talking about the economy? When was the last time you heard the vice president talking about the exchange rate? When was the last time you heard the vice president talking about debt to GDP? These are a group of people who created a certain impression to Ghanaians that they have the man. Is that the man that they boast about?
Maybe he will talk about it on Thursday when they launch their manifesto.
When is he going to talk about it?
When they launch their
The man all of a sudden, he's shying away from the economy. The man all of a sudden, he doesn't want to talk about the economy. These are a group of people. I heard Ken Ofori-Atta on TV3. He said when debt to GDP was 56%, he said that is unconscionable. He said Muhammad is incompetent. He said for that matter, Muhammad should be booted out. Today, at a point in time, our debt to GDP hovered was 104%. And you still have the boldness. See, sometimes when I see my colleague from the NPP mastering the courage to come and sit on TV to talk, I ask myself, what level of boldness is that? But I'm not surprised. See, there are instances you see someone like Pius Haidide, who was caught up in the Australian, what we call visa racketeering, who go and master career and still talk about corruption.
He was cleared.
Cleared by who?
He was cleared by
investigation. By the corruption clearing agents. The president who has developed the pension of clearing his corrupt appointees. Why would you be surprised about it? The president himself has gained that notoriety for clearing people who are engaged in an act of corruption. So I am not surprised. When we are talking about a group of people who continue to talk about the fact that, they meant well for this country, but their actions and injuries continue to suggest that this is a group of people who doesn't love Ghana.
Right. Let me hear from Mr.
He made a direct distance. Let me, before you come to Jantua. He said, I gave a contract to my brother. I have been deputy minister. This is my 8th year. I have never been on any position and been part of the award of contract.
So your brother had one contract before?
So is that a crime?
Okay.
When President Muhammad was president, was Ibrahim Muhammad not doing contracts?
I had Mr. Johnson
I'm
talk
coming,
about
I'm coming.
conflict of interest.
I'm coming.
there.
I'm coming. The first point I'm making is that I have not been in a position to award contracts because we have tender committee and tender review committee, and you have to be a member of those committees before you be part of awarding contract. I am saying on record that I have never been part of any of those committees that award contract. That is one. Two.
You didn't use your influence in any shape or form.
I am not part of the.
I'm asking. You didn't use your influence in any shape or form.
I am saying that I have never been part of any committee or.
I'm not asking if you're part of it or not. I'm asking, did you use your influence in any shape or form?
I have not. Number two, the public procurement law is very clear. Even if I am in the position to be part, if I am part of the entity tender committee, and a friend or a relation of mine is tendering for a project, I have to declare my interest by writing. It does not say that once you are a government official, it means any of your relation cannot do business in Ghana.
But that's not
Is that what the law says?
That's not what the NPP said prior to the 2016 election. Especially with Ibrahim Muhammad.
I am. But has anybody arrested him for doing business under NDC?
Has anybody arrested your brother for doing business under the NPP?
So that is not a crime. If that is a crime, then
so the NPP knew it was not a crime then.
Exactly, that is on principle I'm talking about.
Jalali, please allow me.
It depends on the specific case.
Oh, so when the tables turn,
I have not said that.
But
I don't like the way you see, you have to be fair. I don't like fair. You are not. You are not. Even last when I was not here, I don't like the.
I question him. Now I'm questioning him based on what you are saying.
She makes direct accusation that the president's daughter was paid $10 million.
Now you
didn't hold him to it.
I'm sure.
See, that is how unfair you are.
I'm sure everybody.
That's how unfair you are.
That's your opinion. That's fine. It's your opinion.
If you don't want me to be coming here, but I don't like this unfairness.
That is your opinion. But I am.
If you don't want me to come and discuss,
and you thought I don't.
When they make loose statements, you sit and pretend as if
you not admit
I
Did you not admit
provide evidence. I asked them to provide evidence. I'm sure you are listening, or you're on your phone by then.
And did he answer?
I've referenced Honorable Kujatu Abraka. Did he not hear?
I said to him that if he doesn't provide evidence, then we cannot hold it. So I'm asking you. You said something. I'm asking you questions. And you said I cannot ask you.
I am telling you that I have never been in the position to award contract. That is one. And even if I am in the position and somebody related to me is tendering for a project, the law requires me to write to indicate my interest and stay off. So for him to suggest that I have awarded contract to my brother, it's not true because I have not been in the position to award contracts.
Okay, that's fine. Mr. Janta.
You know this question of the 10 million being paid. What I heard Honorable Okudzato Ablakwa indicate was that 10 million had been paid to that company out of the 34 million that was supposed to look at the spare parts and maintenance of the ambulances. And that 34 million, 10 million had been paid. Now, who owned that company that had been paid for? The president's daughter was in there. And that was where this particular situation came about, that 10 million had been paid to the president's daughter. Because that was what was told us. At the present moment, the case is with the special prosecutor. Honorable Okudzato Ablakwa has been interviewed by the special prosecutor for quite a length of time. So let's wait and see what comes out of it, what the outcome is. But the president's daughter is bang in the middle of this particular circumstance. Now, as I intimated earlier, I had already, on the 19th of July, said to President Akufo-Addo, apologize to Ghanaians for the mismanagement of the economy, and they will forgive you, because the economy has been mismanaged. No two ways about it.
Right.
Be it external, what you call it, what you call it, it has been mismanaged. How do we cover a naked CD with bonds and loans? Was it the IMF? Was it the World Bank? Was it COVID? Was it Ukraine war that told us to go for those loans? We went for it because we were covering a naked city. And when we were now banned from going on to the international markets, it exposed us. And the vice president said it. When the fundamentals are wrong, the exchange rate will expose you. And we have been exposed. And I heard on the radio today, coming here, that, are they called Fitch?
Yes, Fitch, yeah.
Fitch.
Will downgrade us further.
Downgrade us further to more junk status. If we are not able to come up with the payments for the, what do you call it?
Our debt.
Our debt. Look, come on. When the MPP came into power, what was our debt? 120 billion, right? Where is our debt today? Where did the finance minister, in his review on the budget, say our debt was? 742 billion.
Yeah.
Are we saying that 742 billion comes from COVID and Ukraine war? Is that what we are saying? There's no degree of mismanagement in that rise of our debt. So you've mismanaged the economy. Apologize to us. The things you said you would do when you came in 2016, you haven't been able to achieve it. If for nothing at all, employment. Are young people not leaving this country in droves? If there was employment here, will they leave? Our professionals who we have trained to look after us in our hospitals, nurses, have they not left this country in droves? Are doctors not leaving this country in droves? So what are we talking about? If the economy had been managed properly, will they move out? So let's be honest with ourselves. Let's be very, very honest with ourselves. That where we stand today, we are on the edge of a cliff. It just takes a gust of wind to blow us over. And then coming back would be difficult. But President Akufo-Addo does not want to admit that. Some of us, today, what are we hearing about Komenda Sugar Factory? What are we hearing?
It's going to be
it's going to be given to an Indian company
for about 20 years.
Is that not capital flight?
Yeah.
Is that not capital flight? Huh? Will we still not import the dollars that we are on here? Will we not import it? Used to import, and we have a sugar factory. We're giving it to Indians. Manage it for 20 years. What do they? What do they do? Whatever money they make, they will try and change it.
$2.
Fight with the small dollars
that we have,
market,
and take it back to their country.
Sentio refinery. If the president no go and open it, what would happen? They would refine the oil. Have they not asked Boss to find the crude for Sentio? Isn't Sentio a private company? A Chinese private company? When we now buy fuel from Sentio, will they not change the money and take it to China? Is that not capital flight? Isn't Tor standing next to Sentio? That we cannot do our own? And you come and tell us you haven't mismanaged the economy? Those things that are primary to the country moving forward, are we not importing? Have you been able? When you came, you said you would do more added value.
Mr. Yanta, take some water. Let me take a quick break. We'll return shortly. Welcome back to the show. This is still GH today here on GHOne TV. Still the breakfast review. My guests are still seated. Delali Sewakbo is a member of the NDC communications team. Amidi Chinia is a deputy minister for sanitation and water resources. And then Kwame Jantwa is a leading member of the Convention People's Party. And the member of parliament for Sisala East. That is your MP. Those of you in Sisala East, he's greeting you this morning. Mr. Jantwa, you're on the floor before we took that break. Yeah.
So when Honorable Kennedy Japan indicates, let's go out there with humility, apologize to Ghanaians, and admit your mistakes before you can convince anybody to vote for you. If we ignore the hardships Ghanaians are going through, they will never accept what we are saying. That is why Vice President Baumia is more talking of his vision than talking about the state of the economy today. That he's trying to extricate himself from the actual governance which he is still in today. He does not want to bring that to the fore, but he has to, especially he being chair of the economic management team. He has to. In fact, it is one place he should be hitting on in terms of how they've handled the economy. But how can he? Because the economy hasn't been handled well. And a stalwart like Kennedy Japan is telling you that tell Ghanaians, apologize to Ghanaians. If he is saying it and you won't do it, why should Ghanaians vote for you? Why? He has recognized that you've mishandled the economy. He is within the MPP. He has said, you've got to apologize. If you don't apologize, why would Ghanaians want to vote for you? And even if you apologize, why would Ghanaians want to vote for you? Why do you have to vote for you again? It's simple. It's simple. So, let's all twiddle our toes and thumbs and sit around and think that the way Ghana is going, it will end us well. We need to pull the reins back. This particular MPP government need to pull the reins back and deal with the situations Ghanaians are going through. And I'm not sure within the next 4 months they can rectify, but there are certain things they can put in place. Certain things can be put in, and they should do it, because at the present moment, Nana Addo is a lame duck president. And even being a lame duck president, do certain things that would, for Ghanaians to see that we are trying to rectify. So, Vice President Baumia talks about certain things he's going to do if he's voted for. One of them, that for me, I feel can be instituted now, is this disability thing he's been talking about. You are in government, start it today. Speak to your boss and tell him we need a policy on this disability thing. I have actually stated it in my vision. Let's try and put it in place before you leave. At least it will be a start.
Government is a continuum.
It's a continuum. Perpetual succession. So help me do that. I see, no, he's busy talking about Kwame Nkrumah. So, let's see. But this election ain't going to be any easy election to win. All the people who are standing, it's not going to be an easy election, because Ghanaians want to see who is going to be truthful. And if Kennedy Japan is saying you haven't handled the economy well, then it means there's a question.
You know, before he's talked about the issue of corruption.
There's a question mark on your governance. If somebody from inside, who is inside, who is deep inside, is telling you apologize, there's a question mark.
And another person who's also inside is Kweku Kwating.
Yes, Kweku Kwating too has come up.
He was the deputy finance minister.
Exactly. Yeah. He's also said what he has to say. But no, I don't think President Akufo-Addo would take it, because so far as he's concerned, he's been perfect in his governance. But the people within your own grouping are saying, oh boy, you haven't been perfect. A, B, C, D is what has gone wrong. We need to rectify. And you won't listen. If in the end they don't vote for you, then you have contributed to it. And President Akufo-Addo should be very, very careful that his influence in the party today stops them from winning the next election. Because the way it's going, some of the things he's saying, some of the things he's not doing. How many people in the MPP agree to his stance on this issue he brought up 2 days ago? This Nkrumah thing. How many? How many MPP people have you heard talk about this particular issue? The way the MPP members are very vociferous in certain areas. Have you heard any of them support President Akufo-Addo? Even if some one or two, they don't even say it loud. I was on TV3 with one of them yesterday, before we even went on stage. He asked the question, well, what is President Nana Addo talking about? But he can't come and sit on TV and say it.
Come again? There's
Are you questioning me?
There's something.
Are you
I'm
questioning
not
me?
questioning you.
So what is your hand up for?
What was the gesture for? Mr. Chinya, what was the gesture for?
I mean,
Are you trying to say that whatever the person said was off the record?
yes.
But is that not the person's
I didn't mention
posture?
anybody's name.
So the person should have said it on TV.
Well, the person
If,
said it on TV.
if it was said behind the scene, Mr. Gento doesn't
I
need to
said
say
it
it.
wasn't said. I'm trying to tell you that.
Privately, me and you would discuss things.
I'm trying.
When we discuss privately,
Yes.
it should not come on TV.
Yes, but if you believe, I haven't said it.
But people can
listen.
you can check and know who was there.
If you believe certain things, you say it private and come and sit on TV and say the
Yes.
same thing.
Yeah.
If you believe it, you won't say something on TV and then privately say something different.
That's double standards.
Yes, it's double standards.
So once the
If
person
you
didn't say it on
believe-
TV,
if you believe
you don't need
you
to
say it in private and say it on TV. I believe Nanadu is wrong. I will say it in private and say it on TV because he's wrong. Period. The economy is look. The city is like a jack in the box. Pops up here today, goes down here tomorrow. Pops here today, goes down tomorrow. He hasn't been able to stabilize the city. And the cedi is the currency that the ordinary Ghanaian uses. The ordinary Ghanaian doesn't have a chance to get the dollar. They might be spending dollars. We spend cedis. And if you cannot control the cedi, it affects us. The moment the cedi depreciates. Look, the depreciation of the cedi has added to our debt. And if it's added to our debt, who is supposed to control the cedi? Who is supposed to make sure that the cedi is stable? Bank of Ghana?
The IGP.
Bank of Ghana?
That was said in jest. by the
Yes,
way.
but it's true. Bank of Ghana, Ministry of Finance, they are supposed to make sure that the cedi is stabilized. In this Fourth Republic, or in 2016 coming, have they been able to stabilize the cedi? Hasn't it been jumping everywhere? Hasn't it? What is the price of cocoa today? What is the price of cocoa today? Are we, because of the way we sell our cocoa, have we enjoyed? And then, anyway, our production, has it not depreciated? Has it not gone down? Is it 400 million tons?
Yeah.
When we were somewhere around 800, even heading to 1 million? Where is it today? Oil production. Since 2016, have we done any new exploration to production in any of our fields?
No.
Nothing. So if you tell us we haven't mismanaged it, and you know that we are still taking loans today. Today, as we said, we are still taking loans, adding to our debt, what do you call it? So let's sit and twiddle our toes, twiddle our thumbs, and think that everything is hunky-dory. But the ordinary Ghanaian, so far as the ordinary Ghanaian is concerned, the economy is in their pocket. The economy
That's what
the economy is
Vice
in their
President Baumia
pocket.
said before.
It's in their pocket. They see what is in their pocket and how they can live on what is in their pocket. All the big English that we talk about, growth this, growth that, they don't know that. It's in their pocket. When my child is sick, can I afford hospital? Can I pay school fees? Can I give 3 square meals to my family? Can I afford transportation? Electricity, can I afford electricity rates? Can I afford water? When it rains, sanitation. So, I end my submission.
Anyway, gentlemen, any final words before we go, Mr. Chinia?
Well, like I said from the beginning, the advice by Honorable Kennedy Agyapong is in the right direction, that when you are a leader and you get certain things wrong, it is good and honorable enough to admit your shortfalls and indicate
But let me ask you, because I didn't engage you last week, so I don't know what you say about what Kweku Kwarteng said about running the economy like a Ponzi scheme. Let me ask you.
Well, I think the point Kweku Kwarteng makes, I have interacted with him at a personal level.
Okay.
And if you even read the script he wrote, he's not making that statement in reference to the Akufo-Addo government. He's making reference to how we have run our economy since 1993, since we came. Because the point is, every budget cycle, Yes, it includes Akufo-Addo's government. Every budget cycle, we spend beyond what we raise. From 1993, every single budget, we spend in excess of our revenue. And that is why he describes it as a Ponzi scheme, because you spend more than what you have raised.
Generate.
Then you go and look for money to come and pay the excess expenditure. And that is not right. So he's not saying it specifically about Akufo-Addo's government, but as a system that we are running, which is not right. And
but is that not an indictment on a government he once served on? Well, he's still in government, by the way, because he sits on the economy committee.
Well, but you see, if we want to make progress, then we have to accept certain realities. But when those realities come and we want to play politics with it, that is where we all get it wrong. We have to accept it as a reality that under the NDC, under the MPP, we have always spent beyond what we generate. And that is not helpful. And that is the point he's making, that we have to look at the way we spend, so that we spend within
our means.
Okay. And I think it's a good call.
Okay. You know what causes it? Promises. The promises we make come elections.
Okay.
We promise X, we promise Y. And we don't
have the money to do it. Let me give you a minute and then we can wrap up.
My concluding remark is, as usual, I think by now the young people would have confined to the dustbin relative to this excuse about COVID. I think it's untenable. I think it's an insulting to the intelligence of Ghanaians. When you read the Auditor General report, the Finance Minister, the Auditor General report says that she spent an amount of 11 billion relative to COVID. The amount of money that we got as a result of what was in excess of 30 billion. So the question is, the remaining balance, where is it? In fact, we know where the money went to, because Felicia Tete, who happened to be your parliamentary candidate, is this Sanarigo constituency?
Sanarigo, yes.
Said she got an amount of 100,000. Basically, what you guys were doing was dishing out COVID money to your parliamentary candidate in your party, what they call parachikis. So what is important is this: nobody should ever reference COVID. We know what you had, the gains you made relative to frontier medical services. I mean, you made an amount of almost about 150 million plus. So COVID in itself was a blessing to this government. So in referencing COVID as one of the reasons why we are in this quagmire, it's neither here nor there. It's unacceptable. It becomes so insulting. You continue to insult the intelligence of Ghanaians on every blessed day by alluding to the, referencing COVID as the reason why we are in this mess. We are in this mess because of your recklessness, because of wanton dissipation of our resources, because of corruption. I mean, the minister said his own, sector minister, an amount of money that was touched in the house, millions of dollars. So if the dollar the cedi is, depreciating, we know the reason why it's depreciating. So the corruption in this government has become so pervasive. Right? Oh, but why? Didn't you see the amount of money that was touched in the house? Honorable. I mean, I don't know. I mean, unfortunately, but I don't know whether...
Please make your point. You have to go.
What is important is this. This government has messed up this country. Ghanaians are suffering. And the evidence of how we are suffering is in our pockets. The evidence of how we are suffering is when you go to market today, you buy something 2 Ghana cedis. Then there's when you go, it's 5 Ghana cedis. As we speak, a bag of cement was 25 Ghana cedis during the era of President Mohammed. Today it's almost about 100 and something Ghana cedis. So it's so evident that we are in a mess. So what you guys have to do is to have that modicum of humility. Apologize to Ghanaians and stop creating an impression that you are managing an economy better than your predecessor. The president himself is on record to have admitted that he has run the country aground to the extent that he doesn't think that he has what it takes to solve it. So he's only hoping that the one that succeeds him will be able to deal with the mirage of problem or the quagmire that he has put us into. No wonder all of a sudden Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia, he's not unable to associate himself with the gains of this government. No wonder he's saying that he's a mate. And for that matter, he has no say relative to how the economy has been run. But Ghanaians are telling Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia that you are the one that President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo report confidence in when it comes to management of the economy. So you cannot shy away from that economy. You are part of it, and you have contributed to the mess that we are currently going through. So the NPP must know one thing, that listen, by now you should start running your handing over note. I mean, you should always be mindful of the fact that you are exiting power. It doesn't matter what you do. Ghanaians are ready for a change, because Ghanaians cannot survive another 1 minute added to the NPP administration, because they have run this country aground and they have been a total mess.
Okay, gentlemen. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Joshua. Thank you, Mr. Chinia. Thank you, Delali. So that's Kwame Jantua. He's a leading member for the Convention People's Party, the CPP. Amedi Chinia is a member of Parliament for Sisala East and a Deputy Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources. And Delali Seopo is a member of the NDC Communications team. That's it for the breakfast review. My name is Lily Mohammed. I'm back shortly. Stay tuned in. She is the General Manager for STEMBs, Anne-Marie Otre Ejekum, Michelle Fusia Kwating, Mami Abno Usia, and Sabrina Amedu Akusia Bwachwa Yadom. They are all from St. Louis Secondary School. Now they say senior high school, right? Okay, good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
How are we doing? Are you excited that you're representing Ghana? Yes. I like that. But okay, let me start with you. STEMBs organization, how long have you been in existence, and why did you seek why do you think there is a need to empower girls or children in ICT and technology?
Thank you. So we've been around for about 10 years. We started in 2014. It's a non-profit organization that aims to empower women and children in STEM. We realized that women are flee away from science, technology, engineering, maths, anything that has to do with that. And realized that was a gap. So
because some of us hate maths.
Exactly.
Yeah, I do.
Not really hate it because we are not exposed to it well. Maybe that's it. So then,
and we're made to think it's difficult.
Exactly. So the STEMBs organization is there to change the narrative, to let you know that it's something, it's a field you can enter into if you're a woman, if you're a girl. And then now we are introducing it to the children before they go. So there's a 7-year-old child who says he wants to be a robotic engineer. And I can bet that before, robotic engineering wasn't really a thing. But now, due to exposure with STEM, kids are now entering into that side. So that's what STEMBs organization aims to do. Yeah.
And then there's a competition, an international competition.
Yes. So as part of our programs, we participate in international competitions.
Okay.
So there's a competition outside called First Global Challenge. Every year they come up with a problem facing the whole world. So this year it's feeding the future. So
what does that mean?
Feeding the future.
Okay. Okay. So let me start with you, my darling.
So this year's challenge, for the theme for this year's challenge is Feeding the Future.
What does that mean?
And Feeding the Future is simply providing a sustainable development plan for agriculture, because we've seen that the food we consume is more than what we produce. And we don't know any other way. So we are looking for solutions so that we'll produce more. So that even if we consume more, it will tally. So this year, our team is sending a solution. It's a global challenge, so the whole world will be bringing a solution to that global problem. So our team is sending a solution. And when we get there, we will also learn from them and teach them our solutions so that when we come back to Ghana, we'll be able to integrate what we've learned into the various agricultural businesses.
Do you mind sharing what you'll be presenting there, or is it a secret?
I mean, we're looking at food safety, food security, where you know,
especially with our food inflation on the ascendancy.
Exactly. So using water technology to have our food safe. So that's what they are building the robots to do.
Oh, they are building robots.
Yeah, they are building robots.
Okay.
They're building a robot to do that. So we're taking.
So what does the robot do essentially?
So okay.
You can hand over the microphone to somebody else if
So this year's challenge, you're supposed to take 2 balls, have the energy ball and the water ball. So when you take both of them, a food is produced, then you store the food. That's literally about this year's competition.
So they're using the robot to.
you can speak to your microphone.
They're using a robot to produce pick the water, to produce energy to store the food. So it's water, energy to store food.
Okay. That's beautiful. But how long did it take you to do this?
They're actually still on it.
They are
We are
still on
still
it.
building.
But how long has it been so far?
We started somewhere in May. Yes. Yeah,
Okay, May, June, July.
Yes,
So
they've been building
roughly
since May.
about 4 months.
Yeah.
We've entered the 4th month.
Yeah.
Is it difficult?
Okay, let me take this from each and every one of us. It has been difficult combining this with our studies.
What I study?
General science.
Okay, okay.
And we are about writing maths as well. So it's not.
Oh, so are you all in
yeah.
Form 3?
No.
Form 2. Okay, so you are in Form 3, Form 3, Form 3, and you are in Form 2. Okay.
That's the biggest challenge we are facing now. And also, we don't always have our facilitators with us. We have to brainstorm, also comparing it with the education. That's the main problem we are facing now.
What, Sabrina, let me start. When is the competition taking place? How prepared are you?
Okay, so it's taking place on the 25th of September in Greece, Athens. And I think with the preparations we are going through, yeah, by the time the date is due, we'll be okay and we'll be able to compete. Yes.
Maybe you take the final words. What should Ghanaians expect? Are you coming home with the ultimate?
Okay, so Ghanaians should expect a lot from us because without preparation, as my sister said, we are going to win. In fact, we are the winners already.
Yay, Team Ghana.
But before we can achieve this, we need the help of Ghanaians as well. We are asked to, we have to raise a fund of $30,000 to make this whole competition a success and to make Ghanaians win as well, because other countries have been taking it, and this year Ghana is taking it for sure. So yes.
Are you hopeful that this time around Ghana will take it?
Yes, I think if you look at our history, we've been doing well since. So we improve every year, and we will definitely win. Yeah, we will definitely win.
She mentioned that you're
We are
to
to raise funds, yes.
$30,000.
$30,000, yeah.
How easy has it been, and how can people help? I'm sure there are a lot of people.
It hasn't been easy. It hasn't been easy. It's been difficult. I mean, that's why we are doing media rounds to raise funds. Yeah.
So how can people help?
Okay, so we have our website, www.stembees.org. And then we also have a bank account, Stembees Organization. The account number is 2161 04 144 1110. It's GT Bank, East Legon branch, yes. And then we have our Instagram page, which is at STEMBees. When they go on there, they would also get other information on how to donate to us, yes.
So if you're a believer in women, if you're a believer in young girls, if you're a believer in women in ICT, technology, science, please, this is the time to help our young women go out there to the global stage and raise high the flag of Ghana. So you can go onto the website of STEMBees, you can go into their social media pages, and then find the means to donate and donate to a worthy cause. Thank you very much, ladies. And I wish you all the best. I'm rooting for you. Yeah, I'll be here raising my hands, raising the flag of Ghana, cheering you on, hoping that... Yes, please, you want to, quickly.
I want to take this opportunity to thank the school's management and our headmistress, Mrs. Amachewa Benefo, also STEMBees organization, for giving us the privilege to present the country this year. Also our patrons. Also, I want to talk a little about St. Louis STEM Club. The STEM Club was established last year, and we've reached a certain milestones, a whole lot, taking part in robotics competitions, AI, engineering, entrepreneurship, and agribusiness. And we are still thriving. We won GRC last year. That was the maiden competition, and we won. Also, we got the opportunity to present the country in Algeria, and also we took the best design. Just recently, we went to Senegal, and also we took the best engineering design. And we are representing the country again in Athens, Greece. Please, we need your support. Parents, guardians, everyone, general public, we need your support. Kindly help us. And we know we are bringing the cup home. We are putting Ghana on the map. Thank you.
Please, the people who are vying for our votes, former President Mahama, Mr. Digitalization, Dr. Baumia, please, we need your support so that we can make this a reality. We are back shortly. Do stay tuned in.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Some celebrations now. Oh, the man who was here when Star FM was birthed, yeah. Kafui Day presenter with the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. May this day bring you happiness and new opportunities in your life. Wishing you the happiest birthday ever from Winifred Yaose and the entire Day family. They say they love you, and of course, we here at EIB, we love you. Once a member, always a member. Little sis, as you celebrate another year of life, I want you to know that I'm here to support your dreams, calm your fears, and be your haven. You're loved, appreciated, and cherished. Happy birthday, baby Fiona, from your elder sister, Girl Boss. Happy birthday to you, Fiona. Happy birthday, Franca. May the good Lord bless you and grant you all your heart desires. Never stop smiling. Okay, so that's it. Happy birthday to anybody out there celebrating their birthdays today, and anybody marking milestones. Okay. I'm going to be working on my set. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Who are you?
We have to invade your set.
Yeah, invading my set. Hey. Do I run? Charlie, producer, my thief. Anyway, welcome to the show. You are?
My name is Esperanza Ajay, the Group Sales and Marketing Manager for the Alisa Hotels.
Okay, okay. And you are?
My name is Christian Janes, Sales Associate at Alisa Hotels.
Okay, okay. Please, why are you here? Why are you invading my set this morning?
So today we are celebrating. Alisa is in a very celebratory mood. We're 25 years and we have come thus far. And this year we are marking it with a lot of, this milestone especially, with a lot of projects. So we are here to talk about our project that we are yet to unveil and to invite our cherished guests to be a part of this celebration.
What are things you're doing to mark this beautiful milestone?
Okay, so the Alisa Hotels Group has over the years evolved to be a giant brand on the hospitality landscape. And so 2 years back, we opened the Alisa Hotel Tema branch with 50 rooms.
Oh, it's a beautiful place, by the way.
Thank you. We opened the Alisa branch with 50 rooms with conferencing facilities. And this year, we are launching the Alisa Pavilion. It's a 1,000-seater capacity dome, and with its attendant facilities like the Oasis Lounge and 2 boardrooms.
Okay.
Yes, so what it is that for event organizers, partners who want to give that outstanding or bougie look to their event, we're inviting them to step into our opulence, our world of opulence, where they get that intuitive service they need from our professional staff, as well as the facilities, the bespoke facilities that we have to ensure that their events are elevated to that.
And I see you have a box in hand. What's that?
Yes, so we're here to give that to you.
To me?
Yes, to the team.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Please, what's that? If it's bomb. Oh, that's a beautiful package.
So this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Hey!
Yes. So our new Oasis
It's food,
Lounge,
by the way. That's why I'm smiling.
our new Oasis Lounge has this and more. Yes. So we are inviting our guests.
So it's open to the general public?
It's open to the general public.
Okay.
It's open to the general public. So
How many seater again?
So the dome is a 1,000-seater
Okay,
facility.
okay.
But then the restaurant is both for indoor and outdoor. So after work hours, you can saunter in and lounge either indoor or al fresco dining, where you get to enjoy lip-smacking dishes from Chef Freeman's kitchen. And so please, we invite you all to step into the Alisa Pavilion, located right in Northridge.
So you see, it has everything that I like. It has my croissant, it has red velvet, it has some meat pies. Oh God, Alisa.
Start of your
Listen, this and more is what you will get at the Alisa Hotel. Please walk into any of the branches. If you live in Tema, I have a very plush Alisa Hotel in Tema. I've been there. Their food is good. I love food, so anything food, I'm game. And you can find them very close to us at Ridge. Yeah, so you can find Alisa Hotel. Please walk in for all your mouth-watering dishes, and you can also walk in for your conferences if you have any event at all. Just walk into Alisa Hotel. Esperanza will give you a very good deal. Just ask of me. Okay, so congratulations to Alisa, and we hope that this will be a very beautiful friendship. We'll treat you well. We are good people.
Oh, yes,
we pride ourselves in excellence. Yeah, and so we're.
So do we. So we
Exactly. So it's a beautiful friendship.
Yes.
Yeah. So congratulations to Alisa.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's Esperanza and that's Christine. They are from the Sales and Marketing Department of Alisa Hotels. Please, for all events, even if you are hungry, see, anytime you're hungry, just drive to or walk into Alisa Hotel. They will sort you out.
Not forgetting accommodations.
Yes.
For those who have accommodation.
Oh, they have
needs
beautiful
for
rooms, yeah.
conferences, Please. We invite you to sojourn with us.
Yes, please do. Anytime you want to rest. And those of you who are outside Ghana, we're streaming. So those of you who are looking for beautiful places to stay, I recommend to you the Alisa Hotel. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And that's it for the show. My name is Lily Mohammed. It's time to go and eat. Bye-bye.